I would like to welcome Lenka on stage. I met Lenka just recently, thanks to Robert Vlach from Na Volné Noze. He introduced us, and he told me you simply have to talk with her because she's got a very, very special job in the social media industry. She's helping Hollywood actors to work with social media from Prague. And I thought, wow, that's something I really haven't heard of, and I simply have to have her for Babeltalk, and she was so kind to accept the invitation, and so she's here. She said she couldn't name the actors, which is a pity because that was why, one of the first questions I've had. I could tease it on our Babeltalk event. So she's doing, A-stars, but we can't really give the name, but she will present it here. So she won't, because of the privacy involved. But still, I think it's very, very interesting story. How can you get such a job being here in Prague and working abroad? So thank you very much for coming, and it's yours.
Thank you for the lovely introduction, Adam. So, good evening. My name is Lenka Šilhánová, and as Adam said, I teach actors all over the world how to use social media for their careers. I do that from Prague, from here, and Adam asked me to talk a little bit about my backstory of how a completely ordinary Czech girl like me got to do something like this. So I hope you find it useful. So let's start in the beginning. So acting was my hobby when I was a little girl. I did school theater for many years, but when it came to college, I decided not to go and get some life experience instead. So I didn't go to college, and I went abroad and lived there for some time. When I went to the USA, I met these people, which is my host family, and they were so amazing as to encourage me to follow my dream and to study acting after all. So I studied acting in theater acting in San Francisco, and later I studied film and commercial acting in Hollywood. Before I left the US, because you get only visa for some time, so I bought this book, which is called Self-Management for Actors, and it's written by Bonnie Gillespie, and it changed my life because it showed me how to take my career in my own hands. After that, I decided to continue study acting, and I decided to do that in London. Except I didn't have any money to study, so I sold my stuff on the internet. I bought a one-way ticket, and with 40 pounds in my pocket, I ended up in one of the most expensive cities in the world, which doesn't sound like the smartest idea ever, but it has a happy ending. So I found a live-in nanny job, so I had a place to live in and some little pocket money to survive. And I went to this school and I asked them, because I don't have any money, can I work here? Can I perhaps earn the tuition money? And to my surprise, they didn't kick me out. And they said, yes, absolutely. You can work at the bar and at the theater. We need some volunteers. And I covered 2 years of my studies this way. And it was really important for me to do it this way because I didn't want to burden my parents with going in debt because of a dream of mine. Because if you pursue any career in arts or creative field, you have no guarantee that you will ever earn enough money to repay your debts. So that's why I decided to do it a little bit like this. How I got to social media. So it kind of happened by accident, and when I was leaving for London, I started a blog just to keep up with my friends and share my stories, share what I'm doing in London. And strangers started reading it and sharing it because they kind of connected with my story. And all of a sudden, I was nominated for a Streamy Award, which is the internet equivalent of Oscars. I got some writing opportunities, and Huffington Post named me one of the top female bloggers in Britain, and that may sound cool. However, it was really, really scary for me because at the time I had no idea what I was doing with the blog. So it pushed me to study everything and anything that I could about blogging and social media and online marketing. And during that time that I was studying, I realized that, oh my gosh, social media actually have a huge potential for actors and all creatives to share your talent online, and you can skip the gatekeepers such that prevent you from doing that freely. I started to get interested in that. And during that time, I was an active member in Bonnie Gillespie's actor community that grew around her book. And besides her book, she also teaches actors, coaches them, does in-person seminars and various online classes. And she shows them how to understand show business and how to succeed in it. I launched the European version of her community, and we do monthly mastermind calls. And on these calls, I started randomly sharing what I knew about social media. And Bonnie took notice one day, and she asked me to join her program, SMFAU, which stands for SMFA, Social Media for Actors, South Media for Actors University. And she has various professors teaching skills to actors that they might find useful in their careers, such as crowdfunding or copywriting, screenwriting, and I teach social media there. And now I would like to share with you some of the lessons that I have learned along the way, because I think it's important. So lesson number one for me was that it's okay to ask for help, because I was raised and conditioned to believe that you have to achieve everything on your own, and asking for help kind of goes against that belief. And my life changes when I learned that it's actually okay to ask for help, because everybody has something that they need, and you can only go so far by trying to do everything on your own, and it takes a village for one person to succeed. And not enough people share this thought. We always see the one person who has achieved something, but we never see the army of people who help them get there. And what helped me to ease into this, into asking for help, was that I realized that I can always offer something in return. For example, with the Actors Center, when I researched the school, I realized that they are an independent organization, and because it was during the financial crisis, that they might struggle to pay people, so they might use any free helping hands as volunteers. So I didn't come there begging for help and some kind of special treatment just because I have this financial situation. I came there from a place of service, from a place to offer them something valuable for them. The second lesson is that my actions have consequences to other people. I learned that not using money kind of changes the relationship of the two sides. And all it is based on trust. And trust is a very fragile thing. So the school actually put a lot of trust in me when I promised to come there and help, and they give me classes. So I try to be the best volunteer that I can be, because if I was the one who doesn't keep the promise, then anyone else who would come after me and ask for a similar thing, they might say no because they have bad experience with me, for example. So I think it's really important to think of the legacy that we leave behind with our actions. And the last lesson is that your journey is not always what you planned. Even after all this effort that I put in my acting education, I gave up acting after a few years of working as an actress. It was one of the most difficult things that I had to do in my life because I felt like I'm letting down myself and everyone who followed me on my journey and helped me to get there. However, it turned out to be one of the best decisions that I've ever made because sometimes you have to give up something to make space for something that you are really supposed to do. And for me, I found that in helping creative people share their talents with the world. And one of the things that I can do is to teach actors how to share their stories on social media, and that in order to help their careers. So to wrap this up, I would like to tell you this quote that's kind of my life motto. And that is that when life closes one door on you, you can always climb in through the window. And when the window is closed as well, don't be afraid to break it with a stone and climb in anyway. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. I thought wait. I thought maybe you can, even if you can't really share the names, you can actually give us a little bit of insight of how does it work or what you actually do for these people. So a little insight into a day of a life of a social media trainer for actors.
Okay, so the entire project, the SMFAU, is designed to work on Bonnie's website. And it's kind of like an educational platform with all the different courses. And each professor can put in their course materials. And it can be a video course, it can be a series of ebooks and exercise books and audio, because every person learns information in another way. So you can create these materials, you can submit them to your course, and then any student can come in and download these materials and study on their own. And they can always reach out to you with following questions. And what we do a lot actually is, because this works in a passive way, we spend a lot of time communicating with people in the community that I showed you. And this is very important because it builds trust, and people then end up actually recommending our courses. And this actually allows me to do it from here, from Prague, because I can just submit the course materials, and then I communicate with the people no matter where they are. That's pretty much it.
And it's mostly US or worldwide, or?
Most of the actors are based in the US, in Hollywood or in New York, and then there are a lot of actors based in London, because there's also a big market, not just theater market, but film. Then there are some actors in Ireland, a bunch in Germany, Australia, New Zealand, and other countries.
Anybody from Czech Republic?
Not that I know of.